Hello everyone, it's thomasjujube, and the Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger premiere was amazing. The newest season of Super Sentai recently aired its first episode and marks the beginning of Sentai's 45th anniversary celebration, and I loved this first episode. I think I'd say it's my favorite Sentai premiere ever, can't say for sure. I'm gonna go over all of my thoughts on this very cool premiere episode and more, so before I do that, be sure to leave a comment below letting me know what you personally thought of this first episode, and also consider subscribing to this channel for more Super Sentai content, like my latest video talking about Machine Sentai Kira Major as a whole, and I've got an upcoming ranking video that's a little bit related to Zenkaiger. But now to actually get into Zenkaiger's first episode. I really love how different this Sentai premiere felt. Like, at the end of the episode, we just have a two-person Sentai team. That's kind of crazy. There were a lot of cool ideas, and I think that they were all used pretty fantastically here. The first scene is super ominous, and I love it. Just seeing all these Sentai teams get locked away with barely any explanation is creepy as hell, and I love it, especially since I guess they filmed new footage and like matched the quality of the video to those older Sentai seasons. I love that attention to detail. This scene was a simple but perfect setup for the plot and the villains, in my opinion. It's interesting that they've practically already completed their goal of capturing all the worlds from what the villains have said, and it makes this kind of weird anomaly with Kikaitopia merging with our world, I guess, a lot more intriguing and a little bit more interesting how this happened and how I guess we fix it. And also, I think the most interesting mystery for the villains is why they have this absolutely massive bird, also one that looks kind of like the good guy bird. Even though it feels like we kind of just did a robot thing with Kamen Rider 01, if you watch Kamen Rider, it actually felt really different here. I didn't feel like we were retreading a plot thread, just the supernatural way we have the Kikanoids enter the world, and they just integrated pretty well into society, and the way the villains impact their integration is really cool. Obviously, they changed the status quo of the world, like, oh no, these villains are trying to destroy the world, but also like their very existence just turns people against the good Kikanoids, and I think that's a really interesting idea. There are a few lines about Kikanoids all looking the same to humans, and there's also some elite versus commoner dynamics between the other Kikanoids and the villain Kikanoids. I didn't really think they would do something like that, and it's a really mature kind of plot line, I think, and that's really cool. Speaking of the other Kikanoids, I'll get to her later. I think the strongest part of this premiere was, as I mentioned, how we really only introduced 2 of the 5 Rangers. I feel like I already have a good grasp on who Kaito and Juran are as characters, as opposed to just having 5 Rangers with a one-note personality to develop later, which I'm obviously okay with normally, that's just how Sentai works, but the change to formula here was very welcome. I loved Juran. I enjoyed seeing him just chilling with some humans randomly, and he's also like an old man, so it was like a how do you do fellow kids moment, which is also very fun to watch. When he was trying to innocently defend the humans later in the episode, but they just got scared of him because he's a Kikanoid too, that really hurt. I wasn't expecting that kind of plot twist, as I mentioned earlier with the whole other Kikanoid stuff, and that instantly made me like Juran and get on board with making the villains and heroes the same race, and as I mentioned earlier, I hope they continue this really interesting idea and dynamic. Juran was also a lot of fun during the fight scenes, like he actually dances to the gear trillinger sounds, which is amazing. The part where he just shoots a foot soldier during a villain monologue was perfect, his reaction when turning big was funny, and he stabs a big robot monster with his tail. Awesome! Juran was my favorite character to come out of this episode, but the other 2.5 characters were great as well. One thing I wasn't expecting was for Sechan the bird to be like the mentor character. I was expecting the grandma, who I will be referring to as Ma Kaiser, to be the one who would tell Kaito about all the gear and equipment and whatever, but she was just as surprised as Kaito, even more surprised at times. I thought Sechan was just going to be the marketable bird sidekick, so giving him this relevance was a very nice, welcome addition, especially in moments where he explained how the gear works, which would typically just be a feature the characters already know about. It paired nicely with the moment where Kaito and Juran are talking about how to transform as well. So Ma Kaiser doesn't do a lot as a result, but I thought the gag where she like breaks the fourth wall and and acknowledges like the clip from the trailer with an explosion. That was fun. There's not a lot to Kaito either, I guess. I thought his intro where he's going to bungee jump was strange. His thing is like, I'm going to be the first in the world to do something, which is a bit weird. I don't know. I'm not feeling it. His friendliness towards the other Kikinoids when they arrived was a lot more of an endearing introduction. I think that should have been his first scene, and maybe like his defining character trait is just wanting to make friends and not caring whether or not they're Kikinoid. His alliance with Jurdan felt a bit sudden, but it wouldn't feel as sudden if it was just because he's trying to make friends with all these Kikinoids as opposed to, I want to be the first in the world to do a thing. I'm really into this mystery with his parents though. The flashback to them was really cute, and I thought it was awesome that they inspired Kaito's catchphrase, which gave it some more levity as opposed to just being a thing he says. And it's cool that they created all the gear for the season, like obviously the gear and the literal gears. There's obviously some mystery to how and why they disappeared, and also just the fact they've been able to discover parallel worlds intrigues me a bit. Probably that won't get explained, but the other part about them disappearing probably will be some sort of mystery, and I'm excited to get into that mystery and kind of explore more about Kaito and all the other characters. The last part of the episode I want to talk about is just like the aesthetics and atmosphere. The music is amazing. I love the opening so much. There's so much energy. The song is cool. The visuals are awesome. And they even made it a dance to make up for the lack of an ending theme. That's the biggest brain crap I've ever seen. Big props to Zenkaiger for that. I might say this is my favorite Sentai opening now. I'm not sure. The transformation and roll call though. Oh my god. The Go Ranger reference with the calling back to the bum 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 is super cool. The visuals are beautiful. I love the mechanical detailing surrounding the characters and the mechanical way the armor just attaches and the way the helmets form. Then the just totally extra shot of them posing with the logo. The clip is the only reason this clip is there is to look badass, and I love it. And then the roll calls reference the title of the season the character is based off of, and the visuals are stunning, weird arrows, but whatever. Then just bam, in your face text with the character names and the background music. The background music is amazing. I kind of want to say this is my favorite Sentai roll call transformation / whatever, but we only have 2 of the 5 Rangers, so I can't wait for the full thing. That's it. I can't wait for the full thing. The main fight is really cool. My favorite part is the one scene in the green screen explosion world. It just looked really cool. I don't know what else to tell you. The first Sentai gears were cool too. I like that they're the 2 latest Sentai anniversaries, and I love the effect of summoning the whole team in their team pose, which is a really cool visual, and I love the indication that the anniversary aspect of the show might not be all about, oh, we've got to get all the powers of these Sentai characters. No, they've already got most of them, so we could get tributes to different seasons with just the attacks, and that's pretty awesome. We might still get tributes because of the alternate world stuff. It's kind of unclear at this point, but I don't really care which direction we go since the visuals of the season itself are just a bunch of references, and I'm satisfied with that. The visuals are a perfect representation of this first episode, and it's just how Zenkaiger is trying to do something different with Sentai. Zenkaiger's suit is crazy. He's the leader of the team and he's white, so that alone is pretty crazy. But he's also got all these different Go Ranger colors, and he's like an evolved design of Aka Ranger to be this Go Ranger tribute, and he's the only human on the team. The other Rangers are just robots, and they pay tribute to the robots of other seasons instead of individual Rangers. And then they're also like the smaller robots for the fight scenes, which is a fun twist on how the robots have been doing that for years. And then they combine, and we've got like different variations of just Zenkaio, but they're just mix and match gimmicks, and I guess we'll get more Zenkaio versions in the future. And the Sentai gears, as I mentioned, I love the way they summon stuff, but I also just like the visuals of them, like with the gold chrome and the Red Ranger picture, and then the team logo on the back and the team number, and it's just super cool. I really like the look of everything in this season. The civilian Zenkaiger designs are fun. Hi Majin! Zenkai Majin is the new best girl in Tokusatsu. You can't change my mind. I love everything about her. I love like the double skirt thing, all the different pinks in her color scheme, her face, it's like a faceplate instead of a mouth, and it's so cool. Her eyes are cute, the big long ponytail is cute, and I love how she's not this loud-mouthed, high-pitched, screeching character, but they've given her like a normal voice, and going off production stuff, she's like a genuinely smart character, but she's also got a shy personality that's also adorable, and she's a robot. I just really really love how Majin's civilian form is like a genuinely cool design, but it's also a really cute and adorable design at the same time. And I also really like what her personality is, and I love Majin. Queen Majin. I was planning to watch Mega Ranger as my next Sentai, but I'm actually now going to be watching Magi Ranger because that's obviously the show Majin pays tribute to. I'm gonna watch an entire show just for Majin. I guess 2 shows actually, I guess. Part of me is sad that she wasn't a focus of the episode, but because of how Zenkaiger is doing things, in a couple weeks, she's getting an episode that's all about her. And as the #1 Majin fan, or whatever you want to call me, I'm very, very excited for Majin's arrival in Zenkaiger. And once Majin arrives in Zenkaiger, then Zenkaiger will truly begin. And the rest of the Zenkaiger, I'm excited for that too, I guess. I'm excited to see what else this season has in terms of anniversary aspects, story, new Rangers, but they've already given me the greatest Sentai / Tokusatsu character ever, so the show could take a turn for the worse, and I wouldn't really care. I like looking at it now, so hopefully it doesn't happen though, since I really enjoyed this first episode, partly because it was a genuinely cool episode, but also because, hi Majin. If you're still watching this video, clearly you can tolerate my love for Majin, so maybe you might as well subscribe to the channel. You may be able to tolerate my other opinions. Be sure to stay tuned for my upcoming Super Sentai videos, and I hope to see you next time. Do 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 bum bum 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 do 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 bum bum.